Hi, friends. I hope you are doing really well. It is June 3rd. This is Wednesday, and just was guided to share a few thoughts today again. It's been a few days actually, and actually last night, it's interesting. I was feeling something really strong, and I wasn't sure where it was coming from or what it was, and I kind of felt like Yoda, like there's been a disturbance in the force. And so I did a lot of prayers and meditation on it last night. And I was asking, what's going on and how can I best, serve at this time, and how can I help, or, what do I need to know? And so much came through. And there's just, again, I know there's so much going on in our world right now. And it's almost like really challenging to know what's what and what's truth, and there's reasons for that, because there are a lot of pieces of information and uh, desires, or there's agendas that are being kind of pushed and manipulated, if you will. And there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes that most people just really aren't aware of, and that's okay. It's just part of the game, if you will, the Earth 3D game. And but we are coming to a time, and it's a pretty significant time right now, and it's what we choose is also makes a huge difference. And so some of the things I was getting is, I know there's a lot, again, more stuff coming up even beyond the virus. A lot of the just the more recent events that have been happening, and how that is triggering everybody. Because, this whole year, and I've shared this probably in most of my videos, I've got this really clearly in December of 2019 and in January, and my guides told me that 2020 was going to be a big year. It was going to be a year where we were going to be healing and clearing a lot of the very old patterns and belief systems, and things that just no longer serve us. But in order to clear them, a lot of times they have to come up. They have to, we have to see it or embrace it, and no longer ignore it or fight it or resist it. And so once it does that, it comes up, and then we can let it go, and then open ourselves up for the new patterns, the new ideas, for unconditional love and joy, and all of those things that we've been kind of denying ourselves because of the way the systems work and the way we were taught to work within the systems. And so, this was already kind of a warning. And so I've been watching this stuff unfold since January. First I went through a bunch of stuff, and I was like, this is what they were talking about. It was clearing away a lot of old fears and patterns, and just stuff that wasn't serving me, and a lot of things I took on through life that wasn't even mine. I just thought that this is the way we were supposed to do it, and I wanted to be good, and I wanted to be seen a certain way, and so without really consciously knowing it, I took it on, and went decades like that, like many of us, and little by little, would clear things and clear layers and keep coming back. And so in January, when it hit me hard, I knew what was happening, thank goodness, that would help some friends, and my alternative practices and my faith and hope, and I got through it, and then I felt really amazing and incredible after. And it helped me to go to deeper layers within myself. It helped me to let go of what wasn't serving me, and to open, and in doing that, it made room for more of my passion and my desires to come alive, and more knowing and understanding. And ever since then, it just keeps unfolding and unfolding and unfolding. So I see how it works, and then it's happening in our world, on a global level, on a societal level. And sometimes it's easy to get caught. Like, I look at for myself, it could have been really easy to get caught up in the discomfort or the pain that I was feeling. And there was a couple moments where I think I did. It was like, oh no, do I need to do something else? Do I need to go, to the hospital? What's happening here? And there was so much pain and so much seeming, suffering. And there were some blip moments where I was ready to, like, either, let it go, give up, run, whatever, seek out things that wouldn't have been for my highest good to help me through it. And then I got, my little nudges of just saying, it's okay, stay in the moment, embrace this. This is just old stuff clearing, and it's uncomfortable because you're not used to it, and just hang on. And as I did that, it was amazing when I let go of trying to run from it, and I embraced it, and I was able to look at it as if it wasn't like me or something wrong with me. It was layers coming up to be cleared. It changed everything. And then I allowed it to happen. And then each one that cleared, I felt better. I felt lighter. And actually, at one point the next day, I felt immediately like completely different. It was like, wow, this is it. Okay. So that's what's happening, in our world again. We're seeing these things come up, and each one triggers something new and deeper within us that needs to change within our societal, our collective consciousness, if you will. And so it's being triggered so it can come up to be balanced and to be healed. And it really, and I don't mean this in that it doesn't matter what people are going through, because I know suffering is hard. It's terrible. It can really hurt. And I have, great empathy or more compassion, for going through that, because I know I've been through so much myself. I know how that feels. And yet I also have this understanding and this awareness that this is exactly what needs to happen so things can get more amazing and better, and open up a whole new world for all of us to really be authentic and be unique in who we are here to be, and to create a different kind of lifestyle and way of living that really serves us all. And so I remember that when I come back and I see all these things coming up around me, or maybe it's in social media. I do my best not to watch the news because I know what it's shown, and I know most of what's shown for me there isn't necessarily the truth of how I see it. And so I do my best not to notice, but I know whenever I need to know something, it's brought to my attention, which it is, and then I can embrace that, and I don't run from it. I look at it, I feel it, let myself react to it, and then I come back to balance, and I remember this other truth. More clearing. This is just preparing us for what's to come. This is making room for what's to come. We held on to a lot way beyond we were meant to, or what was for our highest good, but that's okay too. That was what for some reason we needed. But now it's letting it go, and this is the uncomfortable process in letting go, in transforming, in evolving. And it's not bad, it's not any of that, it's just uncomfortable because we don't know it. And also it's uncomfortable because we are letting go of pieces of us, that good or bad, that we have been used to. So we've grown very, quite comfortable with what was there, regardless of whether it was for our highest good or not. It's just what we knew. And this is safe, this is comfortable, and yet it's really not. It's how we learn to see it and feel it. And so these layers, again, they're coming up, they're being shown to us, and now we have to both walk through and embrace all of that. We have to learn how to embrace the unknown, which we were not taught to live that way. We have to embrace the disconnecting from something that feels so familiar to us, almost like a best friend. Like, even if it's an unhealthy relationship, a dysfunctional relationship, we didn't want to let it go because it's been there for so long. And so all of this is happening in like a crash course kind of way right now in our world. And so, but what they were sharing with me is that it's important to remember these things and to understand at a deeper level, that everything you're seeing around you, like, take a deep breath, ground your energy, cut your cords and all that before you respond, because sometimes it's right now the energy is so heightened, and it's coming from so many different places, and so much of this fear and discomfort and sadness, and really grieving of losing those other pieces, that it's not always exactly as it's as we really know it. It's more of just this unconscious stuff happening. And so if we can remember that, kind of wake up to that, now we can say, oh, wait a minute, let me come back to this moment. Let me look at those feelings, feel those feelings, and then let me take a break for a second. Let me come back over here, cut my cords to the old stuff, cut my cords to what's not mine, to what the reality used to tell me, the collective picture, And then let me take a deep breath, let me ground my energy and come back to this moment of where I'm at, what I am really feeling, not what anybody else tells me to feel. Get clear in yourself of what's going on, how you see it, how you feel, and not allow any past teachings to influence that. Because the past teachings are all going to come from this old paradigm that no longer works: fear or control, manipulation, all of those things. And I don't mean this in a judgment in any way. That is just how we were taught how things had to work. And so now we can look at and say, okay, do I really need to feel this way? Do I really need to hold on to the idea that it's got to be bad, or it's got to be hard, or it's got to be ugly, in order before it gets better, or has to happen, or that has to happen? Let me let go of that just for a minute, Let's just set it aside. And now, again, come back to the moment, breathe, ground, regardless of what your faith is. This helps everybody, right? And just be within yourself for a minute. If you have, beings that you call God, angels, ascended masters, higher self, whoever it is that you work with, calling on them at that moment and thanking them for expressing through you, for surrounding you, for your protection, guidance, assistance, healing. And then listen, be in that moment and see, okay, what now? What am I feeling? Oh, wow, I'm really okay in this moment. No matter what might happen tomorrow, no matter what attempt is happening, what's happening in this moment? Because in this moment, I don't see any of that. That's only if I look at the news. That's only if I step out there. That's only if I do, all of the out of the now. Okay, come back again to the now. Now what? What am I feeling? What is my guidance telling me? What step can I take that is part of my role? And is that learning about myself? Is it honoring my boundaries? Is it creating boundaries? Is it, doing something that I love? Figuring out something that I love, figuring out what my passion is, whatever that is, and it's being true to that space, because that is how we can best help right now, is by staying out of all the drama, staying in the moment, in our higher selves, allowing everything to process through as it needs to, let ourselves process through what we need to, and then allow the deeper, the new and thoughts and patterns of unconditional love and joy and acceptance come through. And the next thing you know, you'll know what step to take. Like something will be shown to you, or you'll get a feeling, you'll get a nudge, and you just take that one step, that whatever that is, and just keep doing that. And then at the same time, it's a really just great time and space to put out extra love into the universe. Love and gratitude. Focus for a minute on everything you feel grateful for. Everything that you've learned through life. Even if you don't like what's happening right now, maybe your awareness that you can be grateful for that, or grateful for your health, or grateful for your family, or grateful that, you're all safe, or whatever it is, grateful for the passions and the talents that come through you, grateful for the nature that surrounds you, whatever it is. And then and unconditional love of total acceptance for being you, total acceptance for each person being who they are, and just feel that for a minute and send that out to the universe, and connecting with everyone's heart, or the light that resides within each one of us, like a grid of light around the planet, and just send that out even more. Just send these vibrations, amazing vibrations of love and gratitude to everyone, to ourselves, to our family, our loved ones, our friends, and all throughout the earth. And this right now is one of the most amazing things we can do. I got really strong guidance on this, that it could be really helpful right now for us to add some extra prayers, add some extra love, and without any agenda, without outcome or expectations or judgment, just pure love and light and gratitude, and send out as much as we can. And whenever we're thinking about it, if you wake up in the middle of the night, which a lot of people are, stop, cut your cords, ground your energy, put your shield up, send some out to the world. Send it out to the earth, because maybe it's needed in that moment. Again, there's so much happening, so much transitioning happening at this moment, and so much is not seen. And that's something else, a little thing I wanted to share is, do your best to not hold on to any pictures that you're seeing right now as if it's truth. Everything has been so convoluted right now and so mixed up. It's hard to see what's really happening. And sometimes there are those that do not have our best and highest good in their hearts, in their minds, and they are doing their best to paint pictures for everyone else, to manipulate them and to kind of push them into the direction that they want them to go. And sometimes that means looking at other people in a very negative way, or a person in a negative way. And and so it's important right now to like let all of that go, because that's not going to help anybody win anything. And the best way we can help is coming to our center, because when we're out of that fight and flight, when we're away from the stress and the drama and coming back to the moment, that only there is where we get our higher, our inner nudges, our guidance. And that is where you will find your connection with what you're here to do, and what you're, it will be for the highest good for you to do in this moment and then each moment. And this is just something I got was so strong last night. Just the reminders, and for those of us that are aware and remember this, to keep helping to remind each other, to keep holding each other's hand, because we're all going to have different moments where it gets overwhelming, or we feel like, maybe it's too much. But if we are there to help each other and to remind each other, then it all works out and it's all okay. And that's what we can do for each other and the planet right now. And so anyway, I just wanted to share that. I know this kind of went longer than I thought it was going to. I hope you'll still listen. And there's lots of other videos on my YouTube channel if you want to check it out. Just I'm always, whenever I'm getting guided to talk about or share just different messages that are, with things that are going on right now. It's just under my name, Carolyn Kaufman. And if you're looking for some cool meditations, there are some meditations on my website, thelabyrinthoflife.com. And yeah, we'll talk soon. I know that there'll be some more coming up the next few days, because there's a lot more shifting happening. And so please hang in there. Do your best to come back to each moment. Love yourself. Love the people you're sharing each moment with. Do what you can to muster up every extra bit of patience and tolerance. Be what you want to see in the world. And unconditional love, just total acceptance. Remember, all of us have our unique quirks. Nobody's exempt. And if we embrace each other like we each want to be embraced, the world can just be a much more beautiful place. And we can, build this new place together, out of this unconditional love and acceptance. And what a wonderful place that is. That is a place I want to reside. Anyway, lots of love. Big hugs to you all, and then we'll be talking very soon.